Hey everyone, it's Tyler Stroik from Universal Rackets, and today this is going to be an amazing video. Do you know why this is going to be an amazing video? Because we are going to teach you how to instantly improve your return of serve. Once again, if you watch this whole video, you are going to be able to learn a variety of tips and tricks to instantly improve your return of serve. Your server that you go out and play after this video, they are going to think twice when they are serving the ball to you. They are going to know that that ball is not only going to come back and in the court, but it's going to go deep. It's going to push back the servers back so they can have a difficult third shot. So once again, in this video, we are going to be giving tips, tricks, and everything for you to improve your return of serve. So let's get started. So the number one thing, why do you need to focus on so much about your return of serve? Well, in my opinion, the return of serve is the way to start the point. If you are returning your serve, a lot of players think the server has the odds on their side. Think, if I'm a server and I serve the ball, I have to stay back for my third shot because I have to let the ball bounce. If you're the returner, what does that mean? After you let the serve bounce, you can hit it and you can go right up to the kitchen. And if you are at the kitchen, you are in the best place to win the point. Once again, whoever can get to the kitchen first in pickleball, in my opinion, has the best chance to win the point. So as the returner, you have first dibs at the kitchen. That is why it is essential for you not to only get the ball back, get the ball in, but hit the return with authority so you can get up to the kitchen. So the first tip that I'm going to give everyone is just what I explained, to get up to the kitchen. The further you are, or the closer you are to the kitchen, the better you are going to be. Once again, if I hit a ball, think about it. It is way more difficult to hit a ball in the transition zone than hit a ball up at the kitchen. When I'm up at the kitchen, I have less distance to cover. I'll hit a higher ball. If I let it get back to me in the transition zone, it's going to be a lower ball, okay? So the first tip again is to get up to the kitchen, to realize your goal as a returner is to move up to the kitchen. So here's the next tip, okay? A lot of players, where they go wrong with their return, and this will instantly improve your return to serve. We're already in the first 5 minutes of this video, and this is going to change your game if you don't already do this, is they'll hit, they'll stop, or they'll just hit, and they'll stay here. And then they'll move up to the next ball, and they'll hit in the transition zone. I have a bad return of serve. I hate returning the serve. I always lose returning the serve. Well, where is your fourth shot? Where's the fourth shot of the point? Well, you're hitting your second shot here because the serve's the first, your return's the second. You stop and then you're hitting your next shot, the fourth shot in here. Of course it's going to be difficult. However, instead of just hitting and waiting and then moving up or just standing there, watch what you're going to do. You're going to hit and you're going to keep your momentum moving forward. Now you are in a way better position. Hey, if I had to hit every single one of my returns and my fourth shot be in here instead of up there, I would hate my return of serve too. I would lose a ton of points because I'm not up at the kitchen. So instead, I want you to think when you hit your return of serve, you're not just stopping and then moving forward. You are hitting and moving through your shot. Once again, you are hitting and you're moving through your return. My return's not like stop and go. My return is that I'm hitting and I'm keep on going. My momentum is going forward into the court. Now, big disclaimer, when your opponent goes to hit their third shot, so they serve, I return, I move forward. When they make contact with the ball, you want to stop wherever you are. You don't want to run through your fourth shot unless the ball's super high. If it's a floater, so if I hit my return and they hit a high third shot, then I can hit and move forward. But any other time, I want to move through and forward until they make contact with the ball, and then I'm going to set hit, and then I'm going to move up. But my goal after the return is to get up to the kitchen and cover as much distance as possible. So a great drill to do, and I'm going to show you guys, is you are going to get a target, you're going to get another paddle. Let's see what we have in this ball cart. Here we are. Amazing. So we have this Project 006 tour. Click the link in my description to also get the new Invictus the Vanguard control paddle. Everyone's talking about it, but you're going to put a target out there. You're going to have your opponent serve to you or your partner serve to you, and after you're done, your goal is to move forward past that paddle. This is going to teach you to get up to the kitchen. So here we are, ready? So they serve to me, I'm going to return, and then once I'm done hitting, I'm going to make sure that I end up past the target that I put on the ground. Same thing for the backhand. So they serve to me, here we are, I return my serve, boom, and once I'm done, again, I'm going to make sure that I move up past the paddle. Now, what you can do as you get more comfortable with that, right? What you're going to do is you're going to increase your target. So now my target's there. So I'm going to hit my return, here we are, and then I'm going to move up past the paddle. My goal is, again, to keep on moving forward and move through my shot. Now, the second thing, we talked about moving forward. Now we're going to be talking about before you move. A lot of players, they get jammed. They can't hit a good return of serve because the ball's coming to them, they take their paddle back, and then they get super jammed. Once again, the ball is coming to me, you wait to take your paddle back, and then you get super jammed. So this is what happens. You hit the ball, you serve the ball to me, I wait, oh, here we are, it comes right near me. Now I take my paddle back, and then boom, I get jammed, I hit the ball out, I can't hit a good shot. The first thing that you have to do before you move forward and you move through your return is you need to take your paddle back. Once again, the first thing, before you even move to the ball, you need to do either this or you need to do this. Once again, before you even move, you need to do this or you need to do this. Notice, when my paddle is already back before I move to the ball, now when the ball is coming, I can make contact out in front of my body. When the ball's coming close to me and I delay my take back, now I'm taking the paddle back and the ball gets jammed. So take the paddle back first, then move to the ball so you can get the contact out in front. Before the ball even crosses the net, your mind should determine, is it a forehand or is it a backhand? Notice when I turn, there's two things. Number one, I want to take my paddle back, but then number two, my body is turned sideways. So again, paddle back, body turns sideways, hips don't lie. If your hips are facing the side gate or to the other court, that means you are in the proper position. So it looks like this, okay? They served me. I notice before the ball even crosses the net that it's a forehand. I turn my body, I take my paddle back. Now I move up and I move through the ball. Here we are, we have a backhand. They serve to my backhand. What do? You tell me. I turn my body, hips are to the side, paddles back. Now I hit and I move up and through the ball. I want you to think, regardless if you drive electric or gas car, when you put that car in drive, then you can go. I want you to think, if you step on the gas or the electricity and the car's in neutral, the car won't move, right? It's not going anywhere. Think, you have to put yourself in drive before you go to the ball. If you're like this, your car is in neutral, you're not going anywhere. So work on, again, the first thing you either do is this or this before the ball even crosses the net. If a server hits the ball to me and their serve goes into the net, I should be like this or this, okay? I always want to turn and then move up through the ball. So just to review, by moving forward, realizing the goal of the return is to get first dibs at the kitchen, try to get to the kitchen as close as possible, right? Try to move through your shot. Don't just stop and hit, or don't just not move at all. And then the next thing that we talked to you about is by taking your paddle back. By taking your paddle back first, then moving to the ball, that's going to help you get your contact out in front, and you are going to instantly improve your return. Now, if you guys haven't already, and if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, and let's keep on going. Okay, now the next tip. In every single one of my videos, I mention this. In pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. The more you let the paddle work for you and the less you work for the paddle, the better it's going to be. Now, maybe before this video, you grip the paddle super tight, and if you grip the paddle super tight, it's not going to be right. But the reason why maybe is because you didn't take your paddle back. You had to muscle the ball in. You didn't use your momentum forward. So you had to grip the paddle super tight. Now, our paddle's back. We're making contact out in front. We're moving into our shots. We're getting up to the kitchen. We have our power. Our power comes from momentum. momentum. So now I need you to hold the paddle loose. Once again, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the tightest grip possible, 1 being super loose, you're gonna drop it, but I don't wanna drop this amazing new Invicta Vanguard control paddle because it's so amazing. I love it. Make sure to click the link in my description. Use our promo code ADV-Universal for a gift card with purchase. Check it out, so amazing. But you wanna be around a 2 or a 3. You want to hold that paddle a tiny bit loose. Now, I know there's some people that have death grips on the paddle. That's okay. Grip it a little bit less. And by utilizing these tips that we already went over, it's going to give you the chance to actually do it, okay? You want to hold your paddle super loose. All the momentum now is coming from you moving forward and through the kitchen. Now, if you still struggle with gripping your paddle super tight, you can do 2 drills. Number 1, you can grip your paddle with your pinky finger, your middle finger, or your index finger, your middle finger, and your thumb, okay? So by gripping your paddle with your index finger, your middle finger, and your thumb, that's going to teach you that feel of how loose the paddle is going to be. So again, you are going to grip the paddle with 2 fingers and your thumb, and then you're going to hit and move forward. It's not going to maybe go anywhere in the court, but that's going to teach you that feel. If that feels a little bit too awkward for you, that's okay. Another amazing drill to do or exercise to do to make sure that you don't have a death grip on your paddle is you're going to squeeze your dominant wrist with your non-dominant hand. So I'm a right-handed player, so I'm going to squeeze my right wrist with my left hand. By squeezing my right wrist with my left hand, I'm going to be focusing on gripping this hard. I'm not going to grip the paddle, and that's going to help me again swing super loose as well. By gripping this, it's not going to allow me to grip this. So do those exercises to have a loose paddle. Realize again, the power, everything's coming from your momentum. Let your paddle go, be super loose while you're doing this, and you will instantly improve your return of serve. At first, in pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. It's going to feel really wild at first, but what's going to happen is you're going to realize by holding the paddle super loose, you are going to be able to absolutely rip your returns twice as fast, twice more spin, because by letting the paddle go, by holding it loose, you're going to be able to rotate, hit topspin. You're going to be able to hit twice as big as a return without doing half the amount of work because you're gripping the paddle super loose, okay? So that is the next tip to instantly improve your return of serve. Now we're going to take it a step even further, okay? You need to give up control. In pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. The more you let the paddle work for you, the less you work for the paddle, the better it's going to be. So the next tip that you have to do is you have to make sure you do a full follow through. Too many players, they just get their returns back because they don't follow through. They just try to get it in. They just want to get their return in. So what they do is they end up swinging tight or loose, and they end up slamming the brakes. Once again, for my backhand, here we are. They end up slamming the brakes. Even if they move through the ball, they end up slamming the brakes. They're here. You need to fully follow through. Once again, if you want to be able to hit a big return, if you want to be able to hit a return with power, you want to be able to hit a return with depth, you have to follow through. You have to let the paddle work for you and not work for the paddle. So for the forehand, a great cue to do, I have 2 cues for you to do. Once you're done your return, I want your elbow to be pointing towards your target. Now this is an accuracy hack too that we will get soon into this video. I'm going to teach you how to aim your returns. Another tip that you can do to ensure your follow through is the butt cap. You see the butt cap of this Selkirk paddle. Once I'm done, I'm going to show the butt cap towards my target or towards my opponent. This or this is going to ensure that, look, I did a full swing. It's not going to be here anymore. For the one-handed backhand return, you're going to do the left side of the letter V if you're a right-handed player. If you're a left-handed player, you're going to do the left side of the letter V. Now, for the two-handed backhand, instead of elbow, you are going to do elbows, okay? So once you swing again, you are going to do a full follow through by pointing your elbows up. That's going to ensure it. Now, by holding the paddle loose, by utilizing our momentum, I'm letting this happen as a result. This is a big disclaimer. A lot of clients, when we teach them at Universal Rackets, a lot of students, what they do is they go swing and they try to force it to go up over their shoulder. Notice, I'm not forcing it. I'm letting my paddle and up over my shoulder as a result of the momentum. Again, this happens as a result. I'm not forcing this to get there. Same thing for the one hand, okay? So I'm letting the paddle get here as a result. Same thing for the two-handed backhand. I am letting that paddle get up with my elbows as a result. I am not forcing myself to do that, okay? So make sure you do that throughout your shot. So what are you doing? Taking your paddle back. You're holding the paddle loose. You're making sure your goal is to get up to the kitchen. You're moving forward through your shot. You're doing a full follow through by pointing your elbows or left side of the letter V if you are a one-handed player, and you are getting up to the kitchen and you're stopping when your opponent makes contact with their third shot unless the ball is super high. That's what we went over so far. Now, just real quick before we get into even more tips to instantly improve your serve, guys, we already doubled your serve return. Your serve return is already so much more effective now, but we are going to take it to the next level. Different tips work for different people. In pickleball, not one size fits all. So I'm going to give you 10, 15, 20, 30 tips. Try it. Don't just try it once. Give it 3 or 4 times until you realize, okay, that tip's good or bad for me. But try all these tips and see which tips work for you. I'm going to give you, if I give you 10 tips, 5 are going to absolutely improve your game. 3, they might just not work. And 2, you're going to think I'm crazy, but I want you to try every single one with an open book. Maybe if I tell Nancy to point her elbow up, it's going to be absolutely horrible and she's going to have no control whatsoever, right? It's not going to work. But maybe I tell Nancy the butt cap, and the butt cap absolutely transform her games. However, for Carl, I tell Carl the elbow up, it absolutely blows him away, transforms his game, but the butt cap doesn't work. What I'm trying to say is different tips work for different people and different abilities. This video is for every single level to improve their return of serve. So let's keep going. Okay, the next tip before we start amping it up, okay? This tip is going to be huge for anyone, okay? It's huge for me. This is one of my favorite tips. I like to utilize all my momentum, and I try to get too confident. I get too hype into the point, and what happens is I end up going like this, and my return ends up going long. Rewind, look what I did right there. Here's what I do, right? I go for my return. I'm moving up, my paddle's back, and then I go like this. I'm going like this to see if the ball's in. I'm going like this because I'm excited. Instead of picking my head up and putting my body up, you need to make sure that you keep your body down and head down throughout your shot. If there is a laser shining out of my chest, I want that laser to not be pointing up. I don't want it to be pointing directly down. I want to be pointing a little bit down to the point that you could roll a pencil or a ball down the slant. The next thing, your head needs to be down during the shot. The moment you pick your head up, the moment you pick your chest up, the moment you will have an inconsistent return. Think about, like, you're tackling someone, any type of contact sport. If you're tackling someone and you go like this, you're going to get absolutely trucked. Just kidding, I'm not sure. I've never played football in my life. I only stuck with tennis and pickleball. But if you're throwing a punch and you're moving away, you're going to break your hand. You need to go forward and through. Same thing with your return. And the sprinklers just went on. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but it's so hot. I would love if they hit me right now, to be honest with you. But when I hit my return of serve, I want to be going forward and through with my body, okay? So again, the serve, instead of just being up, I'm going to be going forward and throw head down and bodies forward with my momentum, thinking like I'm actually tackling someone, okay? Here we are, one hand, head down and body forward. Same thing for the two-handed backhand. Head down, body forward throughout my return. By doing that, that's going to make you so much more consistent. That's going to give you the basis to allow you to go bigger on your returns and make it penetrate through the court. That's going to do wonders for you. So if you can keep your head down, keep your body down, it's going to change the game. Now, on top of that, okay, well, when do you want to pick your head up, Tyler? I have the next ball. What are you talking about? Unsubscribe, unlike, I'm done with your channel because you're telling me to keep my head down, my body down. What about the next shot? Okay, watch. I want to finish my swing, get this elbow up, my body forward, and then pick my head up. I don't want to hit and pick my head up. I don't want to hit down and then go up. I want to really hit, finish, and then go. Make sure you finish your shot before you pick your head up to the next ball. So again, I'm going to do a forehand and a backhand. I'm going to turn, paddle loose, move through, finish, then pick my head up for the next ball. I'm finishing before I start my next shot. Okay, another thing that you can do is you can watch the paddle or the ball hit the center of your paddle. Now, my coach has told me to do this ever since I was young for tennis. It's a contact tip. However, I have never seen one time when I've played the ball actually hit the center of the paddle, and that's okay. If you can think that you're watching the ball hit the center of your paddle, it's going to help you with contact. So think again, you're watching that ball hit the center of the paddle. That's going to keep your head down. That's another hack to do, and you're going to get so much more control on your shots. Now, we are good. Now we're keeping our body down. We're utilizing the momentum. We're taking our paddle back. We are following through. Now we are going to go bigger on the return. So I gave you the foundation. Now we are going to build the beautiful house or the beautiful return on it. Are you guys ready? And if you guys are, please let me know in the comments below how much this video is helping you, how much you're enjoying this video, how much you hate this video, how much this video sucks. Please, I need engagement on my channel. I am loving doing these YouTube videos. So guys, let's build this house. So before we build this house, we have to realize the goal of the return. Well, I told you before we went into our first round of tips that we need to get to the kitchen because we are in a better position. Now, on the opposite side, if we hit a good second shot or our first shot, which is the return, I want you to start to understand what it's going to do to your opponent. If I hit a return that is right here to my opponent, right there, they served the ball, my return landed right there. What can they do? They can move up, they have to let the first ball bounce, they hit it, and now they're right up at the kitchen. They're in the best place to win. Our goal with our return is to keep our opponent pushed back and keep them deep in the court, so then the next ball is not going to be at the kitchen. Kind of like I just told you, if you don't move forward, where you're going to be with your return. Does that make sense? So think, if someone hits me an easy return, I'm the server, I serve my ball, and now I have my third shot. If I'm here, easy, I can move up. But if you, on the other side, hit me a super, super deep return, I'm the server, I serve this ball over, you hit me a super, super deep return, now I have to hit my third shot back here, it's going to be way more difficult than if I hit my third shot up here. Not only the actual shot, but then after I hit my third shot, which is going to be here, now notice, the next ball, you're up at the kitchen, right? What's going to happen? The next ball that I hit is going to be here as the server rather than being super close. So the goal of the return is to not only get the ball in, guys, we went past that. All these tips, you guys are getting the ball in now. Now, we are pushing our opponents back. We are making the server feel uncomfortable, so they are deeper in the court for their third shot. So on their fifth shot, they're not going to be up at the kitchen. You're going to be up at the kitchen, and you're going to win so many more points. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to get that ball deep. Now, you guys have to work on the first half of the video, okay? But once you work on the first half of the video, now we're going to keep the ball deep. And how are we going to be doing that? We are going to make sure we hold the paddle loose, we follow through. The reason why you need to hold the paddle loose and follow through is to ensure that you're letting the paddle do the work. If I stop the paddle, the ball's going to go super high. If I want to get this ball deep into the court, I have to hold the paddle loose and follow through. By doing that, that's going to give you topspin. The deeper, the more effective the returns that you have, or the more that you let go, you follow through, and you utilize your momentum. It's kind of counterintuitive, because what do you think? You want to get that perfect return? No, remember, in pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. Another great tip to do is you want to tilt your paddle a slight bit downward. So instead of having a continental grip where my paddle face is open, I'm going to tilt my paddle down a little bit. The reason why is that's going to allow me to get topspin, brush up the back of the ball. So now instead of the ball just going straight, long, now the ball is going to dip in. Same thing for the backhand. Instead of being open or continental, I'm going to tilt my paddle a little bit down. So now when I follow through and I let it go, the ball is going to dip in. So by accelerating, by going for it, okay? I just gave you my next tip. I wanted to hold it, but there we are. Accelerate. You have to let the paddle go. I want you to go out. I want you to practice your returns. Don't do this in match play, but go out and accelerate throughout your shots. I would rather have you miss a return going like this than make a return going like this. If we are in grade school right now, this is an F. Get off the court, okay? Get off the YouTube, right? Here we are, but this is a B minus, okay? Guys, that's how we're going to get better. We're going to get better by going for our return. So I need you to really commit. The word is commit, the word is accelerate. When you swing, I'm not sure if the microphone can pick it up, but you want to hear a whoosh. You want to hear the wind go against the paddle. You don't want to just be like this, okay? And again, I gave you all the tips that now you can commit to your return. Now, the next thing that you can do to hit deep, and we used this prior in our video, this amazing 006 project paddle, okay? Again, link in the description, promo code ADV-Universal for a gift card with your purchase. Get an amazing paddle, get a gift card, get a set of balls, whatever you want, but you put a paddle deep into the court, okay? The first order, or the order of priorities for the return is number one to what? Get it in, okay? We got that. Number two, in the middle of the court. You want to aim to the middle of the court because that's the number one place, magic middle, down the middle, heat the griddle, solve the riddle, play the fiddle. That is where miscommunication happens. If you can get the ball in between both of your opponents, it's going to be effective. Another reason why, it's a really easy target if you go angled. Angle creates angle. So if I hit my return out wide, it's going to force my opponent to have the option to go out wide. If you keep it down the middle, it's going to allow them to play more linear. It's going to maybe pop the ball or give them a chance to pop the ball up at you. Rather than angled, it's going to give them more distance because it's a diagonal, right? And then also they can really pull you out wide. So by going in the middle, it makes it more linear. It makes them more prone to pop the ball up, and it's the number one place for miscommunication. So as you saw what I did there, I put a target out there, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be aiming at the target. My partner, whoever over there, my imaginary friend Sam over there is going to, because I miss my wife right now, the pickle yogi. She's working right now. No, what is she doing? She's not working. My wife doesn't work. I'm not sure what she's doing. She's probably playing pickleball. We'll see what she's doing. I have no clue, but I don't have her out here right now. I miss her, but that's okay. Here we are. So what I'm going to be doing, again, is when I hit my returns, my partner's going to serve to me, and I'm going to just go to this target, okay? So again, I'm going to use all my tips and really work on going to that target. Now, this is a huge tip that's kind of counterintuitive to my other tip because I told you to keep your head down, but hey, I also told you different tips work for different people, not one size fits all. I paid for half my college with bowling. Now, I was a tennis player, I was a huge tennis player and everything, but I traveled around and I bowled tournaments. I averaged around like 225 at one point. I think 223 was the highest I ever averaged. I was a tennis player, I thought bowling was a hobby, I had no nerves, and I would automatically win all these bowling tournaments. I had all the balls, everything like that, right? They taught you, I took bowling lessons, right? They taught you if you're ever going to hit a spare, like when there's that one pin on the either side, you don't just try to throw it to hit it. What you do, if you're going to hit a spare, you're going to stare at that pin, right? You have that one pin remaining, you're going to stare at it, you're going to look at your ball, then you're going to stare at it, and then you are going to bowl with it. Once again, you're going to stare at the pin, you're going to look back at your ball, you're going to stare at the pin again, and then you're going to throw the bowling ball. Now, I told you to keep your head down throughout your shot, so try this. This is just a little tip, but it does work. You are going to stare at that deep line. You're going to stare at your target. You're going to do the target so many times that then when you go and play, you're going to have an imaginary image of the target out there because you're so used to it. So when you hit your returns, what can you do? Just like you're trying to bowl a spare, you're going to stare at your target. My target's actually in line with the net. There we are. I'm on my tippy toes, or I can go under. Here we are. So I'm going to stare at my target. My opponent's going to serve the ball to me. Now I'm going to look back. I'm going to stare at my target when I hit it. Boom. And look at that. Look how deep that return of serve was. So if you can stare at your target or at the line that you want to hit, that's going to help you with depth. Again, try it. It's just a bonus tip. Different tips work for different people. Now, if you want to be able to aim wherever you are in the court, maybe your opponent has a bad backhand. 9 times out of 10, when I play pickleball personally, I always like to take my returns down the middle, but as you get more advanced in pickleball, players with the middle shot return, they have good communication. They know who to give that ball to. But B, I like to go straight down the line, especially on the right-hand side, because if you're playing a right-handed player, that is their backhand side. So how do you aim where your return goes? So we're going to be teaching you once again how to aim your return now with all of our tips that we taught you how to get an amazing return. So you guys remember the follow-through tips, right? Wherever you point your elbow to, the ball is going to go. Wherever you point your body to, the ball is going to go. You guys ready? So if I want to aim down the line, as I told you, this backhand return, I love going. This is what I use because a lot of players, they struggle with their backhand drops. What am I going to do? Once I'm done, or when I'm moving forward, I'm not only going to point my elbow to it, but I'm going to point my body and my momentum to the point that if there was no net, I would walk directly towards where I wanted my ball to go. Hopefully in, maybe I have to go a little bit straighter. If I want to go cross court for my return. And cross court, again, it does give them more of a higher percentage to hit a good drop back cross court. But then also sometimes when you really go cross court, it'll give this person, the returner, it'll force them to hit the ball into the middle because they can't really get the outside of the ball. So I like when I play, have a partner with a really, really good forehand driver, forehand drop, I will serve out wide here, right? I'll serve out wide. Here we are. It'll pull them off the court, right? They're going to be forced, they're going to be pulled off, they're going to hit a defensive return because they're not expecting it. They're going to give a short middle ball with them, my partner, shout out to Nate McLean. I like doing this when he's my partner, right? He will drive that ball, he'll kill it. Donkey Donks, once again, check out Donkey Donks. I think he runs like a boating business in Minnesota. He's probably never going to watch this, but if he does, Nate, I shouted you out, okay? So again, he's going to drill, boom, here we are. And now he has an amazing forehand, and now he's in the middle covering the court. And I'm over here just standing here with my backhand just in case they want to test me, okay? So you can use that as well. But by wherever pointing your elbow, your body, your momentum, the ball is going to go. It's not magic. If I want to go straight ahead, I'm going to point my elbow, body, and momentum straight ahead. If I want to go down the line, elbow, body, momentum, down the line. If I want to go deep to the middle, elbow, body, and momentum deep to the middle. So once again, if I want to go to the middle, watch, here we are. Everything is going here to the point that if I kept on walking, there was no net, I would walk directly towards where that ball went. That is how you aim in pickleball for your returns, or this works for your drives as well. So again, we gave you guys all the tips, all the tricks. Keep the head down, paddle back, loose, moving forward, okay? Now, if you want to take your return to the next level, you have to hit and really swing out on the ball. So again, when I play and I train and I'm trying to really improve my returns, right? I'm not just trying to get the ball back. I'm trying to hit my returns with authority. And coming from a tennis background, it's kind of difficult to do. I try to go for too much at too many times. Maybe if me and my opponent or my partner are up like 9-0 against my opponents, maybe I will try to go big for my returns. And again, I might miss long, that's okay. But that's why you have practice, and that's why you utilize this when you're up in matches. Don't utilize this stuff again when you're down 0-3 or you're down 0-0 in actual like PPA or APP tournament. Then you go, you lose the match, you miss all your returns, and then what? You go, Tyler, your channel sucks, Universal Racket sucks, and you stop playing pickleball, right? Okay, let's keep on going, okay? Here's an amazing hack, okay? You need to start understanding the tendencies of the server, okay? Some servers will serve super deep. Some servers will serve super short. Some servers will serve out wide, okay? If you have a server that likes to pull you out wide, maybe I'm going to stand a little bit here so now I can hit my forehand. Unless you're a weirdo like me, I prefer my backhand return, but 95% of people, I'm not sure about that statistic, I'm assuming, prefer their forehands. So if your server is known for going out wide, what can you do? You can move over a little bit so you can have an easy forehand return. Maybe your server loves going down the middle. Maybe you don't like hitting a backhand. It's okay, it's pickleball. The balls are coming slower. There's not that much court to cover. So what am I going to do? If they go down the middle, maybe I'm going to wait right here. And I really mean that, because if they hit a down the middle serve, watch what I can do. I can move around and I can hit that forehand here. Okay, well, what if they go out wide? Okay, then all I have to do is just shift over and go. And this leads to our next point. Well, if I'm standing over here, you're telling me to go down the middle. How are you expecting me to go over to that ball? Watch, when we go, if someone hits a super hard serve to you, this is going to get you to every single ball. You're never going to get quote unquote aced in pickleball again, okay? The good players, they use this tip, and if you look at my video, which I'll put link in the description, how to get to 2 times more balls as possible, this is one of the top tips, okay? If I'm here, it takes so much more time to go out wide to that return than to cut the angle. So again, it's going to take me so much more time to go out that way. Instead of going out that way, I'm going to move up, cut off the angle, and then hit my return. Again, instead of going out to the ball, instead of going side to side, you are going to move in a V. I'm not going to go out to my returns. I'm either going to go up here to my return, or I'm going to go up here to my return. So I'm always moving in a V up to the ball, in a V up to the ball, rather than going out wide to the side or to the side. What does this do as well? It takes so much longer. You're not going to get up to the kitchen as fast. If you go out wide to the ball and then go up, you're going to be further back. Rather than out wide serve, now you move up to the ball, cut the angle, and then get up to the kitchen. So always move into a V. Now, another huge tip, okay? You want to point your toes to the server. Once again, when you are returning a serve, you want to make sure that both of your toes are facing the server. This helps you move more diagonal into it as well. My normal return of serve will be around here, okay? Normal people, they point their feet straight. Their toes are facing straight ahead, right? So now what do I have to do? They have to go out to the ball and then move forward, right? I'm telling you to move into a V. Now, if you point your toes directly towards your opponent, now, if they choose to go down the middle, now you can hit that backhand here. If you point your toes directly, they choose to go out wide. Now what can you do? Okay, you can take a step out and then go. So by pointing your toes directly towards the server, that's going to allow you to hit more angled, move more on an angled basis, get to more returns, get to more balls, and be closer up to the kitchen. So again, always point your returns to the server. Again, we're pointing our toes to the server. We are moving in a V. We're moving up through the ball. We're keeping our head down. We're holding the paddle loose. We're letting the paddle work for us, not working for the paddle. Taking the paddle before we move to the ball, hitting, moving through the ball, fully following through, keeping our head down, keeping our body down, and now we are hitting way bigger of a return. And guys, what's going to happen is if you can not only get the ball back, if you can hit your return with authority, you can hit your return with purpose, it's going to make the server want to go bigger, which is going to eventually, what's going to happen is they're going to self-destruct. And what I mean by that is if I hit a serve, right, and I hit a serve like this, okay, not like that, that was out. But if I hit a serve that speed and it goes in, right, and my returner doesn't do anything with that return, I have an easy third shot drop, I can get up, I'm going to keep on serving that slow throughout the duration of the game. Now, if I have a really good return, if they hit a really good return, now what am I thinking as a server? Oh no, they're going to hit a really good return. I'm going to have to move back. I'm going to have to worry about my drop. My partner is going to be screwed. So what? I need to go for a bigger serve so they can't hit a good return. And what happens? I try to go for a bigger serve. I end up missing. I end up getting tight. And now you play mind games. So if you can own that return, you can not only get that ball back, but you own that return. You set that precedent, set that standard from the game, the first point of the game. That's going to completely change the tone on the match, put pressure on the serving team, which is typically not always the case, and you're going to win way more points by just them thinking about the third shot they're going to have to hit, thinking about how deep they're going to be, thinking about what? Thinking about how hard they need to serve because you're beaming every single one of your returns. Now, I'm going to just leave this, okay? And make sure, again, you practice all these tips in practice, in drilling, when you are up like 9-0, okay? The first goal of the return is to what? Get the ball in. By the first half of this video, I not only taught you how to get the ball in, I taught you how to hit the ball a little bit harder, a little bit deeper. Then the second half of this video, I not only taught you how to improve your return, instantly improve your return 2 times. I said we already did like 10 times. Now I'm teaching you how to make it a weapon. Now, the goal for you to make it a weapon is to utilize these tips, utilize these drills, utilize these tactics in a drilling repetitive setting or when you're up in pickleball, and you will instantly improve your return. Not only 2 times, not only 10 times, but you will make your return a weapon. When you do the coin flip or whenever you do the toss or whenever after you're done watching all my videos, you go to a PPA tour, you play Ben Johns and Annalie Waters, and they go and you do the toss, you're going to be like, oh, well, hey, do you want to return or receive? Guess what? You're going to pick return because you have this amazing, actually, you're going to pick serve because then after you serve, then you're going to get the ball back, and then you're going to have 2 returns twice, right? You're going to completely improve your game. If you guys are enjoying this as much as I am recording it, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to keep on tagging, sharing, okay? I am loving the traction that we're getting here at Universal Rackets. Some people want to become a pro. Others want to go 5-0. Others want to win pickleball tournaments. My goal in pickleball is to become the biggest pickleball entrepreneur in the world, and I'm doing that so by my company, Universal Rackets. Universal Rackets is an all-in-one community tennis and pickleball provider. Maybe I shouldn't have said tennis, but what we do is we do corporate events, fundraising events, pickleball events, charity events. We do tournaments, leagues, round robins, clinics, all different levels, beginner, intermediate, level 3.0, level 4.0. I write all the lesson plans. I train all the instructors. It's absolutely amazing. We offer passionate, upbeat, enthusiastic coaching, and my goal is to scale our company across the whole US and eventually across the world. If you guys are interested, keep in any type of programming, make sure to click the link and fill out our Google Forms. We have one for corporate and special and charity events. Also, we have one if you have any type of courts that are sitting near you and you want programs on those courts near you, fill out that form today, and the Universal Rackets representative will get back to you shortly. Make sure to follow me, follow my wife, the Pickle Yogi, on Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, share with a friend, click the links, check out this amazing paddle. Have a good one. Go for your returns, make them a weapon. Happy hitting, and we will see you guys next time on court.